Hey guys, so I know I said in a previous episode when I was going over Town Hall 5 defense-based design that I would also show you a farming base, so I went ahead and put one together for you. It's pretty sweet actually. If you look at the coverage going on here, you'll see that it was built very specifically to protect your resources extremely well. So what I want to kind of talk about here is all the little intricacies that make this farming base so much better than probably most of the other ones you've seen on YouTube. One of the big things that you won't see pretty much anywhere else on YouTube is having the air defense actually in the middle, protected by 2 layers of wall. And the problem is that most other people, when they build their Town Hall 5 bases, they don't consider the air defense to be as crucial as it actually is, especially if you're going to be getting attacked by higher level people who have a healer or something else. So even balloons to some extent, if you have your air defense not centralized and not on the side like a lot of the other bases do that you'll find on YouTube, it's just not going to be as effective at protecting your loot. So they'll be able to come in and take you out with air units. So that's one of the main critical points I wanted to be sure to mention right away. And that's one thing that's really going to set this base design apart from pretty much any other ones you see. And the next thing is that if you look at both the gold storages, obviously in this case I'm trying to protect them the most, more so than the Elixir. You can obviously swap those with the Elixir if you want. It all depends on which one is more important to you, depending on what you're trying to upgrade next. And I tried to make sure that both gold storages were protected by double walls. This one isn't completely protected by double walls. There is this one area over here where the spring trap is, where they could technically break through one layer of wall to get to this gold storage, but the odds of them doing that and being able to target that one little piece of wall correctly are pretty low, and having a couple traps there kind of also helps mitigate that little risk. But besides that, this is a pretty strong base with very few weaknesses. I mean, the key here is to make it so that one defensive structure covers other defensive structures as much as possible, so when units are taking out one of your defensive structures, they'll be getting hammered by the other ones, and that's what makes this base so ridiculously effective. That's why it's so compact. And then you obviously want to keep your most important defensive structures as far away as possible from the attackers, so that's why we keep them in the middle. Obviously, with the farming base, you don't care about losing trophies, so you just put your town hall right out here, right outside the base, basically as a distraction. And if they take it out, they take it out, so be it, because your loot is still going to be safely inside. And that basically covers it. I did also kind of pretty strategically place these mines, these collectors, because I wanted to make sure they had some coverage from the defensive structures. You don't want to give away, free resources if you haven't happened to collect from your collectors recently, so I did place those pretty strategically as well. They also serve as a good buffer to distract attacking units, because if you max them out all the way to level 10 when you're still at Town Hall 5, they have quite a few hit points. So that's something to be aware of. Even if you don't max them out all the way, they can still have quite a few hit points. But you definitely want to try and make sure every building that you place is covered by a defensive unit, because any building you're giving away that isn't covered, that's allowing them to waste fewer units taking out the buildings on the outside than they would otherwise have to. Alright, I think I'm pretty much done with this explanation. One last quick point here. The good thing about having the 2 key storages that you want to protect the way they are here also is that the wizard tower covers both of them. Along with obviously all the centralized units. The wizard tower obviously doesn't have quite as long of range as the mortar or the air defense, but you can still place things strategically such that it covers your most important belongings. So that's kind of how that works there. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I promised a farming base for Town Hall Level 5, and now you got one. Go make use of it and keep those resources protected.